about hot laps.
We're already in the 15s.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't.
You're looking at the last
I'm looking
lap,
at the board.
last car's time there that crossed the board. You saw that 18:209, but
Yeah, so,
I have a feeling we're going to maybe dip down into the mid-13s is going to be my guess here, Zach.
yeah, mistake number one of the night. Don't look at the time that's on top of the scoreboard of the infield. It will be correct later on this evening when we actually get official times out there for official heat race action here in short order. As a session number 2 here for the Race Saver IMCA Sprint Cars rolls onto the racetrack again, 33 cars strong here in a Wednesday night special here in Mandeville, Arkansas at the Texarkana 67 Speedway. How about a racer who's a regular at the Lernerville Speedway, one of the best racetracks in Pennsylvania and one of the best racetracks in the country? Jacob Gamala out of Seneca, Pennsylvania, in the number 4 J machine will line up on the pole of heat race number 2. Also here tonight with us, no strain of the Victor Lane of the great state of Texas from Corsicana, the pilot of car number 10. It's Marcus Thomas.
Driver here last year put on a great show down here with the Elite Sprint Car Series coming out of Crandall, Texas. Austin Mundy in the 4. Be one to keep your eye on tonight.
And Mundy's a former winner at the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. He's won some pretty big ones over there. Won at Devil's Bowl. I mean, he's won at just about every racetrack he's checked into. RPM Speedway, a track that he frequents quite a bit here in the 2025 season as the Elite Sprint Car Series travels all throughout the great state of Texas. Man, it's very rare to see a speed week put together here in the South, but to have one at all of these great area Arklatex tracks and the ones throughout the Arklatex region, man, it's just great, and what a great turnout.
Zach, I'd have to say, looking at the driver's list here in the current configuration here of the 67 Speedway, I might have to give a tip of the hat there to Austin Mundy. He probably has more laps on the track under the current configuration than any other name I see on the list. Again, he put on a great show here last year. He'll be one to keep an eye on tonight. As well as you mentioned earlier in this heat race, Jacob Gamala coming all the way out of Pennsylvania to be here with us tonight. One of 2 cars out of the great state of Pennsylvania. Out there with him on the track in the 17, that's Kobe Stubblefield out of Seagoville, Texas. You got Michael Day out of Farmersville, Texas in the number 67. Kevin Ramey in the 7M coming to us from Fort Worth, Texas. Also on the track out of Moore, Oklahoma, driver of the 72C, that's Caden Cole. And Joseph Casper out of Rowlett, Texas in the 24. That'll be your 8 cars that'll make up heat race number 2 a little later on this evening.
So interesting note. Now, my videographer that's up top for RaceOn.com tonight, Cody Lewis, he is from the Arlington, Texas area, so he went to Devil's Bowl Speedway a lot growing up. He just sent me a message. He said, Kevin Ramey is the all-time Devil's Bowl Speedway sprint car winner and probably in the state of Texas, but had the most sprint car wins in Devil's Bowl Speedway's history. And I got to say, that's you got to have a lot of wins to be on top of that board. Of course, the original home of the World of Outlaws over there in Mesquite, Texas, sadly shut its doors a couple of years ago. But again, flight number 2 here for the 305 Race Saver Sprint Cars on the Speedway here tonight in Mandeville, Arkansas.
I would think that's about what looking at the lap times there, we're going to make sure everything is reading just quite right here. We'll verify that, but if that is correct, Joseph Casper, he tops the chart now with a 13.711 as your quick time so far.
Yeah, certainly booking it around the racetrack. A 1:37.711 has set the bar here. As again, this it's going to line up these drivers here accordingly later on based off of their time. So this is very, very important here.
It's all for bragging rights tonight, Zach. You know, everybody likes to go out and be the quick time. These guys have Drew in for their starting spots tonight, so the times really won't mean a whole lot other than the bragging rights to get to go back and punch your buddy next to him and say, hey, man, I'm faster than you so far. And right now, that is the man.
Also, David, for the majority of these guys, they have not ever seen this racetrack, so it's going to give them an opportunity to see the racetrack and allow them to make any necessary adjustments, as the racetrack will also change between then and now when they see the racetrack again. So it's always a guessing game. You never really know exactly, can't be too sure to what know what to do on the race car, but certainly to see the racetrack throughout hot laps will give you a good idea of what to expect here in short order for heat race action. As 305 IMCA RaceSaver Sprint Car Hot Lap Session number 3 has now rolled its way onto the speed plant. Now to Post, Texas, going to be on the pole here of heat race number 3 later on this evening. Car number 16, Connor Thomas. It's going to be on the outside of the front row out of Bullard, Texas. Pilots that number 57P. It's Peter Walker.
A couple more for you in that third row back there will be the B2. That'll be Carson Bolden out of Quinlan, Texas. And a driver to keep your eye on tonight coming out of Calera, Oklahoma, driver the 88R. That'll be Ryder LaPlante.
Ryder LaPlante's going to be one to keep your eyes on here this evening. Also, Jeff Day Jr. Out of Greenville, Texas, the pilot of car number 3D. He's a multi-time Elite Series winner in his career. Also, Colby Estes out of Mansfield, Texas, the pilot of car number 71. He'll be one to watch here this evening as well. He'll start outside of row number 3 in heat race number 3.
One of the drivers making the long haul down from Rapid City, South Dakota. We can blame him. He forgot to bring the cooler weather with him, but that driver's the 10 of Michael Oliver. Also rounding out the field there in the third heat race, coming to us out of Flower Mound, Texas. Driver of the K9, it'll be Kevin Rutherford.
Now, that Kevin Rutherford, he'll sell you a house, but he can sell you a pretty good bill. He's a really good race car driver. He's a former full-blown A-mod racer, so he used to race modifieds, and another driver that compared that to, you remember Tim Crawley? He's won a USMTS race in his career. I don't know if you remember that, but Tim Crawley raced a lot of mods at Tracy Clay's I-30 Speedway back in the 90s and early 2000s, and boy, he won some mod races, and just not too many drivers you see with that kind of versatility in today's age, outside of like Kyle Larson, but locally to see a driver like Kevin Rutherford trying to tackle now the 305s, I think it's pretty neat for him.
Zach, I believe one night, our track promoter, Tim Crawley here, you mentioned him, at Riverside, he ran every single class that night, and if memory serves me, he took home 4 of the 5 feature wins at Riverside.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, no doubt about it. As the track continues to gain speed here, new quick time to the top of the boards in car number B2. The multi-generation racer Carson Bolden with a 1:40.94 just dethroned Marcus Thomas's quick time from heat race number 2. Again, if you've just tuned in watching live tonight on RaceOn, you have yet to see a thing. You've not missed anything. You're just looking at hot laps here tonight as you're in your third flight for hot laps here tonight. And, of course, all these drivers are hot lapping in their heat race group. And, again, quickest time overall, just set quick time in that group. The pilot of the number B2 machine, Carson Bolden, with a 14.094.
$25 down with 8 more to go here for your hot laps tonight. Your 4th and final session of the 305 RaceSaver hot laps coming onto the track. Later tonight, they'll start off like this on row 1 out of Fort Worth, Texas. Driver of the 74, that'll be DJ Estes. And to his outside, out of Greenfield, Texas, it'll be Steve McCacklin in the 41.
Let's go to the lineup inside of row number 2 and heat race number 4 later on this evening. Charlie Harmon III out of Oak Point, Texas, pilots the number 3 to his outside from Lincoln, Nebraska. Monty Ferreira in the car number 45.
The third row will be made up of Azle, Texas driver, the 22Z. That'll be Landon Valenzuela. And to his outside, out of D. Ritter, Louisiana, driver, the 15 Junior. That'll be Thomas Johnson.
Boy, the sprint cars are bringing some challenging last names tonight. You love to see it. Cooper Sullivan, he's out of Lawton, Oklahoma. He'll pilot the 99J machine. And the final starter in heat race action later on tonight, the 44C will be on top of the wing out of Farmersville, Texas. That'll be Cody Price.
What a great way to start off the 305 Race Saver Speed Weeks with 33 cars here on hand tonight at the 67 Speedway. Again, fans, plenty of time to still invite all your family and friends out here. We've got one more set of hot laps coming up to you following that, and that's going to be our B mods. So still plenty of time to get all your family and friends to join us out here at the 67 Speedway.
And, of course, they can't make it tonight, David. They can also tune in and watch it live on RaceON. Of course, a lot of fans have been participating in that RaceON Fan Save Provisional this week, and a lot of drivers or a lot of folks were voting. And as of yesterday, the voting was Jacob Gramala from Guy Mills, Pennsylvania. He was number 1, so he could have a guaranteed provisional into tonight's main event based on how everybody voted. Lance Christie out of Burleson, Texas was second in the voting. Caden Cole, Cody Price, and Carson Bolden, Ryder LaPlante, Colby Stubblefield, Valenzuela, Jordan Roop, and Charlie Harmon with the top 10 in that voting. And again, if they do not make the race, then it'll go down accordingly, and the first driver not in the race will get saved and be able to take a provisional for tonight's first event of the week. Also, folks, this is also the beginning of the RaceOn.com summer kickoff. You can watch around 70-plus events here over just the next 30 days, folks. For $39.99, incredible, folks. 70 events over the next 30 days. You're not going to find that anywhere in the country as far as racing is concerned. 70 events in 30 days, 15 nights of racing at 22 different tracks with over 16 different series. And it all kicks off here, or really kicked off just last weekend, May 16th. But, man, so many weeks, so many racing events. Tonight you got one event. Tomorrow night you got another event with the Race Saver Sprint Car Speed Week. You got the Triple Crown Throwdown starting this weekend for the USRE. Factory stocks, limiteds, and B-mods at Arklatex, Boot Hill, and Sabine Speedway. So you want to tune in to catch those. And, again, throughout the entire rest of the month, you can see the entire streaming schedule only on RaceOn.com.
That's going to do it for your fourth and final heat race there of hot laps. Quickest in this group, driver the 44C, Cody Price, out of Farmersville, Texas. He was quickest in that group with a time of 14:366. But the man going home with the bragging rights, out of Quinlet, Texas, driver the B2, that'll be Carson Bowden. Quick car so far tonight.
Yeah, and pretty impressive for him as well, David. We've seen a lot of young drivers come out here, and they get it honest, right? He comes from a family with a wealth of racing knowledge coming from the Mesquite, Texas area, Devil's Bowl Speedway. Wendell Bolden. The Bolden family has been racing for a long time. Carson Bolden, 14 years of age, out here setting quick time tonight. And IMCA Race Saver Sprint Car Hot Laps. Pretty impressive for the 14-year-old youngster out here setting quick time against a field of elite competitors as we'll all look to dethrone them here tonight. But again, hot laps and all that timing means absolutely nothing, David Burleson. It means nothing. But it can give you a shot in the arm and maybe a little bit of confidence. Like, you know what? Race car feels pretty good. Maybe we ought to not dial ourselves out of the ballpark here.
Absolutely. That's what it all means is get driver confidence right off the bat. You start looking at them times and you think, man, we're way off the pace. Got to do something, and you may over-adjust and make a mistake there. RB mods are starting to roll out onto the track. We have 19 strong in your B mods tonight. We have our current points leader here at the 67 Speedway. By the way, not racing for track points tonight. This is all about money and picking up that trophy at the end of the night. But our current points leader, he is here with us tonight. Cody Tupper here with us. Last week, or 2 weeks ago's feature winner, Kobe Williams in the 7cc. He's out there on the track now turning some laps. Driver of the 35, that'll be Aaron Roy, a long-time driver right here at the 67 Speedway. Several new cars here with us tonight in the B mods. Driver of the 3L, that's Levi Wilkerson out of Rusk, Texas, in that black and red car making his way down the back stretch there. The Earther Williams 47cc, that'll be Connor Williams, currently set second in the track points here at 67. Mr. Denny Guyver out of Frankston, Texas, the driver of the white 15 machine down there in turn number 2. Damon Gardner out of Stamps, Arkansas, in that nice, pretty blue and orange 81G tonight. The 75, that was Mike Morris out of Hooks, Texas. Just to name some of the drivers out there with us, we'll give you lineups for them when they make their way out for their heat races a little bit later on tonight. The running order will be